The wilderness in winter is a lonely, unforgiving place. The wind cuts through the trees like a blade, and the silence is so heavy it feels alive. But there's something worse than the cold, worse than the hunger. A nightmare that prowls the frozen forests, its whispers riding the wind. It's not just a legend, it's a curse, a spirit of greed, desperation and hunger that consumes everything it touches. It's called the Wendigo. The story begins long ago, during a winter so brutal that it swallowed the sun. A small Algonquian village buried deep in the woods was struggling to survive. Snow piled higher than rooftops, and food had long since run out. People grew weak, their eyes hollow, their bones sharp beneath thinning skin. Among them was a man named Miska, a respected hunter and the only one still strong enough to move through the blizzard. But the forests had turned silent and the traps lay empty. The children's cries of hunger twisted like knives in his heart. He knew they wouldn't last another week. Desperation clouded his mind. One night, while the others slept, he made a decision, one so unthinkable it stained the very air with darkness. He took the weakest villager, an old man too frail to protest, and sacrificed him. The others woke to the smell of roasting meat. At first they recoiled in horror, but hunger, vicious, unrelenting, tore at their resolve. They ate, and in that moment, something ancient and monstrous awakened. The villagers began to change. First, it was their dreams, filled with dark forests and piercing eyes. Then came the hunger, a gnawing, insatiable need that no amount of food could satisfy. One by one their bodies twisted, their limbs lengthened unnaturally, and their eyes became empty voids. Miska was the first to fully transform. His human soul burned away, replaced by something cold and ancient. The Wendigo was born. It devoured the village in a frenzy, tearing through flesh and bone, leaving only blood-stained snow in its wake. Then it vanished into the woods, leaving behind only whispers of horror. To this day, the Wendigo roams the frozen wilderness, preying on the desperate and the lost. Its hollow voice whispers promises of survival, urging the weak to commit unspeakable acts. Those who succumb don't just die, they become it. There are countless stories of encounters with the Wendigo, each one more horrifying than the last. One such story comes from a man named Daniel, a trapper who disappeared in the Canadian Rockies decades ago. His journal was discovered years later, frozen in the snow. It spoke of howling winds that carried voices, calling his name, of eyes glowing like coals